Hello and welcome to another episode of the Climbing Destinations podcast. I'm Amit, your host, as usual, and again, thank you so much for being here. This has been one of the best episodes, I think. If not the best, then definitely it's up there in the top. Sometimes you have like this really great dynamic with someone, like in the conversation. So this was it. It was like, it was just such a great conversation. We're talking with Ruben Beckers. He is, first of all, an awesome guy, a climber at core, a bolter, developer, and just seems to be such a great guy as well. He lives in Sardinia, and he has been a major part in the development of Sardinia, and specifically the small tiny village of Ulassai and development. In the last 10 years he's been living there and basically put it on the map for climbing, worldwide climbing. It's definitely today one of the most famous climbing areas in Europe and most popular, and people go there. Turns out that it's possible year-round. We covered a lot of stuff, really interesting conversations. Ruben is a bolter. He bolted loads of lines in Ulassai, and he shares some of his philosophy about that, shares about the village, the climbing types, really like where to go, when to go, where to stay, and so on. A lot of gold nuggets there. I really enjoyed this conversation. I think you will feel it as well. Ruben has also been part of the guest house, Nanai guest house in Ulassai, which is a kind of a famous climbers hostel. And just as we did this episode, actually he transitioned and let go of his part of the hostel, and with his wife they just opened a climbing shop, the Dirtbag climbing shop in Ulassai. So that's really cool, and we caught him in a very interesting timing. So he's sharing about that as well, and you get some really good tips about what to bring and not to bring when you go on a climbing trip in Sardinia. Anyway, without further ado, please get ready for this really nice episode. Enjoy it. Book your next trip to Sardinia soon, and catch you on the other side. Bye for now. And quickly before we get going, this episode is sponsored by the Climbing Destinations Network, which is a platform by yours truly and my brother Shai. Basically a platform connecting climbing guides with climbers around the world. Our vision is to be a marketplace, a network that connects climbers around the world with guides. So if you are going on a climbing trip, it doesn't matter where, you can check it out on climbingnetwork.app, and you get to see all the climbing guides that are available there. At the moment, we have around 50 guides from all over the world, from Brazil and Peru to Greece and Spain and anything in the middle. Please check it out. It's really cool. If you're a guide, feel free to join. If you're a climber and you're looking for a climbing day, also join and spread the word. Thank you very much and enjoy the episode. Hello, Ruben.
Hey, Amit, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thanks.
Nice. Where are you now?
So right now I am in my living room in Ulassai. So that's a little village in Sardinia, and it's becoming quite a big climbing destination. And I guess that's why we're here.
Yes, we are. That's so cool. Yeah, I love your background. It almost looks like a fake Google background or something. The olive oil and
It's real.
it's real. That's really nice. So originally, where are you from?
So I'm from Belgium,
Okay.
right? I lived in Belgium for 30 years. It's also where I started climbing, um, in the gym and then out on the rocks. Um, and then, yeah, I moved here about 10 years ago, let's say.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and so life is here now. I have a daughter who's 6. Um, Still have my wife as well. And so we all live here. Daughter goes to school, and yeah, Sardinia is now basically where it is. Yeah.
Wow. So full time in Sardinia, you live.
Yeah.
Really cool. I have to say, I was like sure by your accent that you are British.
Well, that is because my wife, she's British.
Okay.
And so some of the accent might have rubbed off a bit.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Cool. So the it changes like yeah, funny. Uh,
Yeah, a lot of people, they don't really understand what to do this. That's okay. It's
yeah,
nice to be mysterious.
it is. That's cool. I also work with people from Belgium, like many,
Ah, yeah.
and
Mm.
I feel like I have the ear to get that, but not at all. With you, it's like
It's
100% British.
it's funny though, because lately I met somebody at the crack who was a Belgian woman who lived in somewhere abroad for a long time, and she was like, "You're Belgian." I was like, "All
Oh
right."
wow, yeah, okay. So I need to
Yeah, she
improve.
still smells it, I think. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited because it's one of those, yeah, like you said, I think one of the most popular or getting more and more popular in areas that in Europe and in the world the recent years, and I still haven't been. So I'm gonna ask some questions for me, which normally are the best, and I won't forget anything.
Sure
So
thing.
so that's really cool. But before we dive deep, I'm excited just like to hear. You don't have to go really deep, but like how you ended up there. It's like it's a bit. It's interesting.
Mm,
Like and you opened the guest house that I think we'll talk about also.
yeah, yeah. So, how did I get here? Um, I can make the story like exceptionally long, but I'll try not to. Um, Basically, so as you know, my wife is from England. She moved to Belgium. She didn't like it. We were like, okay, let's figure something out. Every weekend we were escaping from the city, going out climbing with the van. And so after a while, we decided maybe we should just change life. And so we started looking for a place where we could move to and or start a business, because I mean, moving to a place is easy. I think staying somewhere is a bit harder. Um, our friend Klaas, he came the year before that we came here, and he saw as well the potential that the place had, and so we came to Ulassai already with the idea to prospect the place. Um, and then yeah, we took our van, we came here. I kind of knew it straight away, as in Uh, so the thing is, the first time you come in Ulassai, it's quite impressive. As in, like, the village is in the middle of all these rocks, and there's clearly so much rock going on there. Um, and then looking at the original guidebook that then was there, I was like, this place is mad. This place is mad. And yeah, starting from that first day, we were kind of like already looking into
Well,
like, what can we do here? One thing led to the other. We stayed longer. I had the opportunity to be here for longer times without losing my contract of the work I was doing. And so yeah, started boating. We met other people that were equally motivated and boated more. We opened a hostel. The hostel actually we were part of the hostel for about 10 years, and this year, just a few weeks ago, we sold our part of the
Oh,
hostel.
no way.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
wow.
I mean, 10 years of running a hostel, it's pretty long, even
Yeah.
though it's an awesome job. But
Yeah.
time for something else, new adventures,
Yeah.
new horizons. Yeah,
Oh, wow. Interesting. So interesting
yeah,
time for you.
very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But you're staying in Ulassai for now.
Yes, so we just opened a climbing shop because there
Oh,
was no
nice.
climbing shop in Ulassai,
I
and
saw that.
so yeah, and so we saw the opportunity to change course a little bit, to have a new project, new energy, and yeah, now it was open for 1 year, and yeah, next season is coming, and yeah, it's nice. Having a shop is fun.
Very
Yeah,
cool. Very cool.
yeah,
Congrats. I saw
thanks.
on a side note, I saw your friend Class's video recently on that's impressive. Like I'll put it on the show notes, and that's like
Yes,
a must see for any person. I think it's
I
incredible.
think it's yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Um, cool. Yeah, I will just write about it, and we can go on. uh,
Sounds good.
yeah. So, can you walk me through a bit about, because we have the climbing in Sardinia, which is a big island, and there is a bunch of climbing all over. But then there is Ulassai, that is the hotspot, no? It attracts many climbers and stuff. So, and also I know Millennium Cave, right? Which looks absolutely amazing, but it's a bit far from there. So, can you do like a rundown a little bit so I could understand, people can understand like what are you looking at if you're coming to climb in Sardinia for a while?
Yeah. Wow. It depends. So it all depends a bit on how much time you have. Um, I'd say if you have not that much time, I would come straight to Ulassai because it's like you say, right now, I'd say it's the hotspot of climbing on the island. At least that is if we talk about sport climbing. Um, in the guidebook that I've made, it's about 1,200 routes now,
Oh, wow.
which is just here in this area, which is already
Wow.
pretty substantial. Um, if you have some more time, I mean, it would be a mess if you would not travel the island because I mean, the nature just the nature itself is fantastic. The coastal areas are beautiful, pristine beaches, and also lots of good climbing. Like you say, around Calagonone, there's Millennium Cave, but not. I mean, a bit closer actually between Calagonone and Ulassai, there is Baunay, which is another big place where there's lots of multi-pitching, there's lots of sports climbing, um, and that this most those three areas, so including Ulassai, that's on the east side of the island. Now, there's also a west side of the island where there's also some climbing. Um, it's not as substantial as the east side. There's less, but it's a different atmosphere. Instead of a sunrise, you have the sunset. Um, and yeah, it's a fun little trip to visit those areas as well, I'd say.
How far is the traveling if you come with a car and you want to, you want to see other crags and stuff? Is how big the island?
Wow. So if you follow the coastal areas, if you drive all the way around, it's quite a bit of a drive because the roads are not straight. There's a lot of twisting and
Yeah.
turning. Um, let's say if you want to go from Ulassai to the west coast, you would take about 3 hours.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a
Uh,
drive.
it's a bit of a drive, yeah.
Yeah. So if you come, yeah, for a week, let's say, then probably go around, like plan to visit Ulassai.
Yeah.
And I imagine once you are there, like I've heard, you don't really need a car, or how
You
that?
don't really need to car, no. So once you hit, most crags are on a very short walking distance.
Yeah.
Let's say the main crag, which is the canyon,
Mhm.
it's on like it's a 5 minute walk.
Wow.
And most crags are like 5 minutes, 10 minutes walk. Yeah.
Wow.
So this bunch of climbing without car. Yeah.
That's amazing. So can you get to Ulassai without a car?
You can. So if you want to get on the island, you have to cross the water. So you need a boat or a plane.
Yeah.
The plane obviously is the fastest, most of the times easiest. If you come by plane, for sure, fly into Cagliari and not into Olbia.
Mm-hmm.
So because the public transport connection from Olbia is a real pain in the ass, and it takes forever and it's unreliable. Whilst from Cagliari, it's pretty easy. So you can just fly into Cagliari, then take a little shuttle train to the bus station of Cagliari, and then there's two, if you're lucky, three on which day, buses that drive to Ulassai.
Oh, wow.
In a way, it's pretty easy. If you arrive late with your flight, you have to find an accommodation.
Okay.
Cagliari.
Yeah. So Ulassai is quite remote, though, no?
I don't know. It depends. It depends. It depends which standards you're using.
Yeah. But no, I
It
mean,
doesn't.
it sounds pretty straightforward to get to. I would assume like you'd have,
It's
another
pretty
bus,
easy.
another, yeah.
It's pretty easy. Yeah.
No, so that's really cool. Because I
Yeah.
think this is something very special, like world-class climbing areas that you can get to and not needing a car when you're there. It's
Yeah.
it's a big one.
Yeah. I mean, I see like, so in the hostel, we also have like, well, it's for me, it's actually now the past tense, but the hostel is still there.
Yeah.
There are also dormitories. So there's a dormitory floor. And most people there, they come with public transport.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty easy and straightforward.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. Okay. Tick.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So about the climbing in Ulassai itself, I've heard rumors that if you don't like crimps, you wouldn't have a good time. What can you say about this?
I think there is some truth in it, but
Okay.
it not 100%, right? So it's definitely not the area with big overhanging roots, right? As you would think of Oliana or
Yeah.
Santa Linea or Margalef, all these places. It's not the case. Most people, they kind of compare it with Siurana. It's the
Okay.
same style of rock, same. Most of the roots are like the same inclination, as in vertical to slightly overhanging. It's not just Grimstone, right? There's a big variety
Yeah.
of holds. There are also some tufas, not that many though. There's plenty of pockets. It's not just Grim.
Okay.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
But you would definitely pull on a crimp or two, and it's
And
yeah.
really the rock from pictures I've seen. So we're talking about limestone all over. It's Ulassai surrounded by limestone. And then it's like gray or orange
So
or
so the thing is, the rock changes. Actually, the type of limestone changes quite drastically in between areas, right?
okay.
So, for instance, in the canyon, it's a very weird kind of limestone. It sometimes feels a bit like sandstone.
Okay.
So there's a lot of friction on it, and the positive thing about it is it's very hard to polish, right? So
Wow.
you will not. It's very difficult to find polished roots here. You
Oh,
kind of
wow.
don't. Yeah, it's like sandstone is very difficult to polish because there's always like the most minuscule amount of rock coming off, and I feel that's sort of the same here
Mm.
in a lot of the areas. However, if you go to, for instance, a sector like Le Gorci, which is incredibly hard rock, right? So it's hard to polish, but maybe that's the one that will be in the end most prone to getting polished. All the other things are just, it's insane. Like if you come from other places like what they are, or
Yeah, yeah.
and you come here, you're just like, wow,
Oh, wow.
everything is a hold. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I was in the Blue Mountains a few years back, and there is it's sandstone, but some kind of sandstone. And I remember going on like a super classic route, and in the guidebook it says it was bolted, 1990 or something like that, and like a 5 star. Anyone, it's always with
Mm.
draws, and
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it wasn't polished at all. It was
Yeah,
with a
that's
lot of chalk, but no polish. And I was like, oh my God, I need to live next to an area like this. This is like
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what
incredible.
happens with sandstone, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. So that's cool to hear. Really nice.
It's another tick.
Yes, it is.
No polished foot, no polished feet.
Really cool. So I have now another one, a bit spicy, especially for you, because you bolted
Mm.
so many of the routes there.
Yeah.
So what do you think about bolting? What is your philosophy as a bolter? What is your philosophy about this? And how really, so you mentioned Sirana, like Sirana, for example, is known. Many areas are like sparsely bolted. So yeah, it's a subject I like to speak about a lot because I think now today, like in modern sport climbing, it's like, it's a thing.
Mm.
Well, what do you think? Like, yeah, how is it in most of Ulassai?
It's like, I mean, boating, yeah, I can talk about this like for hours.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is when you're invested in it, which I am deeply, like, not just with energy, also like financially,
Yeah.
with selling my guidebook, I personally invested with the guidebook close to 40,000 euros to the
Oh,
boating.
wow. That's crazy.
So there's a thing or two to be said about it. Um, I don't, being a quite actual or contemporary climbing area, I believe that easy routes should be bolted closely. I believe that there should not be the possibility of a ground fall in any kind of way, and you should not lose the character of lead climbing, though. So if it's deemed safe, especially in the higher grades, I think a bit of space, a bit of air is it's necessary to maintain, let's say, this aspect of the sport, because I mean, if you can rationalize your fear in a place where it's actually safe to do so, I think it adds to the experience. I realized by boating myself that actually boating, it's it's not just about putting that bolt in the rock, right? It's not just the technical aspect of drilling a hole, putting the glue, or putting the expansion bolt. In the end, when I see with new boaters or sometimes friends I teach, it's actually, there's many times that I'm like surprised that they do not know something that I think it's logical or obvious to see.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and apart from that, obviously there's a huge responsibility as well to, um, I mean, people kind of trust you.
Yeah.
So especially when it comes to cleaning the rock, I think the biggest like danger in climbing is probably rockfall. I mean, after human error of
Yeah.
a climber slash belayer, I think it's probably rockfall. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that's a huge aspect of bolting, is cleaning properly and assessing your work afterwards, if it's good or not. If it's bad, just fix it. Just be a stand-up guy or woman and say, okay, I fucked up and let's fix this. Um, yeah. Apart from that, yeah, it's not just me boating here. Obviously, in Ulassai, there's more people, very motivated people that boat as well, and I think that's really good. I don't think it should be a one-man job. I think it's good when there's different people that are taking part in this story. Also, because you kind of can challenge each other. You kind of like, but why did you put that boat there? Do you not think that block is dangerous? And this kind of helps to the general quality of the boating in an area. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
in a nutshell.
Yeah. No, really interesting. Yeah, I love that philosophy, or that how you think of it, because yeah, I agree. Also, like being in, I don't know, you said, yeah, I'm not sure remote is the right word, but anyway, like in climbing area, and you have beginners, and yeah, I agree that in easier routes it should be bolted closely, because
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like
beginners they do stupid things, right?
exactly
That's just how it is. They
exactly
go left, they go right, they go above the anchor. I mean, they do the crazy shit. On their way down, they go everywhere. Like, I
exactly.
mean, so
Yeah,
you kind of have to take that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true. And then yeah, I totally agree as well that I I feel like many climbers enjoy being above the bolt, but and climbing hard above the bolt and trying hard and stuff, but just as long as it's not dangerous.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the key. So you believe that in Ulassai, like yeah, your bolting, your friends, and generally you'd say it's
I say in
safe.
general, it's good. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
very safe. People often comment on it. They say, wow, the bolting is very good. We felt very safe. Um, Often that kind of means that the bolts are a bit closer.
yeah,
Um, Again, once you go into the higher grades, at least the stuff that I personally boat, but also my friends, then there tend there is some running out, but always, yeah, like I said, in this,
yeah. Nice. Wow, we are 3 out of 3 with
yeah,
ticking.
yeah,
Really cool. Okay, I think it's a good topic, and I think it's very yeah relevant. Um,
yeah.
okay, so if we're already in climbing and stuff, and we have the style, so it's like I imagine, yeah, vertical walls, beautiful crimps mainly. What are some of your suggested areas, like your preferred areas you send people to
Mm.
in their first visit?
It depends on the weather.
Okay.
Depends what the weather situation is like, what time of the year, because there's we're boating lots of different facing rocks, right? So I'd say that most of the rock, well, most of the rock, let's say 60% of the rock is east face, which means that in the summer you can climb in the afternoon, right? So in the summer, once it's past midday, you can climb in all these places. So it's actually a pretty good summer destination, or when it's hotter, let's say in Europe, it's a pretty good destination. Um, in that case, sometimes I would send people just, I mean, the canyon is amazing, right? There's
Hmm.
the quality of the rock is so good. So basically, it kind of is not just like this. It's kind of like this, right? With easy stuff on this side on the slabs and harder stuff on this side on the overhanging parts.
Hmm.
Um, it's good for everyone. Bolting is good. It's like guaranteed happy days.
Fun.
It's
Yeah. How many
yeah.
routes are there?
In the canyon, there's about 150 routes.
Oh, okay. Big.
Yeah, and then there's so many other places. I mean, the thing is, it's very difficult, I think, to find bad routes in Ulassai.
Okay.
And
Nice.
then, like, I think also us personally, we don't really go for quantity. We always go for quality
Hmm.
routes. and there's not anything shit. Maybe there's like the odd weird line, but it's hard to find. The thing is that most people, once they go to the canyon, they kind of get stuck there because it's impressive. Everything is good. There's other people there. People like to, they would like to feel the vibe.
Sure.
So, but the other areas are actually super cool. Torre de Venti, Sassabella, Le Corci, Sufundo, so much good stuff. Yeah. And then if it would be winter time, or fall/spring, I think Sucastedu is my favorite.
Which
also
one?
in general, Sucastedu.
Okay.
I think all around that would be my favorite crag because you kind of don't see it before you walk onto it, and then when you turn the corner, it's like this huge wall. And
Nice.
it's really impressive. The view is amazing. Yeah, like you can see really far. The sunset is beautiful.
Wow.
There's different grades, routes 40-meter long. I think it's probably my favorite
Wow.
place. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you pretty much can't go wrong by choosing a crag.
Yeah.
That's what you say. Yeah.
Yeah, we climb all year round, basically.
Yeah, that was my next question. How is what's the high season and when because I saw that not you already, but the hostel is closed at
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
So I would imagine that you could climb also in winter time.
It's amazing. Right now, it's absolutely amazing.
Exactly.
It's 12 degrees, full sun. The slight
Oh my
breeze
God.
is just,
It's amazing.
it's so, yeah. It's
So
like, it feels so good to climb at this point. It's insane. I prefer it much more than summer. I mean, summer is also good, but there's something therapeutic about like winter sun.
it's incredible.
Yeah, the energy. I love it too.
Yeah. I love to take off, like having all these clothes when it's super cold, and then you reach like a sunny crag and just take everything off. It's such a good feeling.
You just feel like you're winning,
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
So
tell me about the season.
Yeah, the season, I'd say the high season is for sure spring and autumn, as in like most places, because then you hit really like this sweet spot of you can kind of climb wherever you want. In the sun, it's going to be, I mean, if you want to do some hard stuff, it's going to be too hot for sure. But if you want to have this holiday feeling and like put some sun cream on, then you can go to the sun. And if you just put a jumper on, you can go to the shady crags. So I'd say April, May, September, October, November are very busy months. June, July, August are still busy, less busy, because people think it's going to be too hot, although I think it's one of the better places you could go in the summer. And then the winter is for sure calmer, because I think it's because when people travel to Sardinia, they want to feel like they're going to the south, so it's warm, and it can be cold as well.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, we're 800 meters high, so
yeah,
it can be cold.
yeah. There are snowy peaks as well, I think, no, in Sardinia. Some
In Sardinia, yes. Here,
not there.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can kind of compare it with Tirana when it comes to like temperatures. Sometimes in the winter can be amazing. Sometimes it's just too rough. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But that's really cool. So it's year round climbing. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I kind of thought it's too cold or something. So, there are like, where do climbers stay? So I know about the hostel. I know about another like camping that was opened in recent years or something like that.
Yeah.
And then vans, or there are other options.
Yeah. So there's the classic option of exactly going to the hostel of Nanai Climbing Home or to Takumaku, which is it's more, I'd say it's a little bit more upmarket than Nanai.
Hmm.
Um, I think the people that come to the hostel are in general a bit younger. They don't mind sleeping in shared rooms and stuff. Other options is the campsites, exactly, for vans and for tents. Um, about people coming with their van. Um, so since there is the campsite, it kind of became a bit more difficult to camp inside the village, to
Hmm.
free to at least to free camp inside the village or close in the proximity of the village. Um, I mean, it's kind of understandable. These
Yeah,
people made huge investments,
sure.
so offer services, so it's kind of understandable. I'd say it's still possible if you go a bit further out
Yeah.
and you don't mind driving back into the village. Um, I saw lately that they're kind of in these places close to the village are kind of cracking down on free camping
Hmm.
in a very civilized way. I'd say not
Yeah.
it's not like with show of force and big
Yeah.
fines, but
Okay.
it's more in a conversational way, let's say.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it's a bit like in most places now.
Yeah.
It's like they kind of these free camping spots like close to crags are a bit more regulated, more a bit like in
Yeah.
Margalef, how it changed there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's for the better as well.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Climbing. It just keeps growing, so it makes sense that. Yeah.
100%.
And so in the high season, where would if you come without a van? So there are like other Airbnbs and stuff in the village, or
Yeah, obviously there's like a bunch of people riding the wave.
yeah,
There's a bunch of Airbnbs. Um, there's also, I mean, there's more and more stuff coming, right?
yeah,
The the economy of climbing tourism is growing. People are getting on board,
yeah,
so there's plenty of options, to be honest.
yeah. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, that it makes sense. And in terms of like when you say it gets really crowded in the high season, so we're talking Kalimnos style, like you would in the canyon, you'd wait in line for classic routes and
And
stuff like
if,
that.
for some it might happen, yeah.
Yeah,
There's like a few. Yeah. You could you sometimes it happens that you have to wait. Yeah,
yeah,
it can get, especially like in the canyon, Sassabella, Torreventi. It can get
yeah,
very busy. So, but it's never stressful, I'd say.
okay,
Um, People are in general somehow when they come to Ulassai, they're really chill, they're
yeah,
relaxed. It's kind of the vibe that is here. It's not me. It's not that people are like mega focused on sending as
yeah,
hard as possible. It's fun when it happens, but I feel like it's not the main, uh, often the main goal, let's say, of being here.
nice, yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's really cool.
Mm.
I want to touch a bit more on Ulassai, but in a second because I don't want to forget a bit more stuff about like the climbing. So it's hard to get the your favorite sectors or something because there are two. I had this problem before with with another episode.
Mm.
Everything was so good, but do you have favorite routes that whatever you put up, you send, you think that are a must for different grades? I don't know. You have some
Oh man,
too many.
this is like so many. It's like people ask me like, I mean, obviously, like running this hostel where there's like hundreds and hundreds of climbers coming a year, they obviously ask me this question many times. It's so difficult to say. Like, it's just it's just all good. As in, like, I mean, I have the routes that I prefer. or maybe that I have the most affinity to, as in like maybe that I bought it myself, that I'm like, wow, that is so good. I'm
So
so happy with like, I'm so
yeah,
happy with with where the bolts are and like with
yeah,
people enjoying it.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I'd say maybe there's a route called the Sugastedu 7B, 40 meters. It's called Nanais. I think it's a great route to on-site because it's long and
yeah,
the bolts in the end to get a bit further.
yeah.
And it's just this never-ending mental
What's the
battle
name?
of, it's called Nanais.
No, nice.
Yeah. And then maybe in Boa Arena, there is King Canute, which is also like a 35-meter line, 7B plus, spectacular. Maybe Major Tom, which is NA also in Sugastedu. It's like when you walk into Sugastedu, there's like this one like clear wall in front of you, and it's just like in the middle.
Oh,
It's
nice.
amazing. Yeah.
8A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much. There's so much. I'm just talking about my own roots. Because you always feel like a bit more
Of
connected to
course.
these
Yeah,
pieces of rock.
for sure.
But yeah, there's a shit ton of stuff.
Nice. How is in your guidebook? Do you do like stars and stuff like this? Like other?
This
What's
is
your
bad.
opinion? Yeah.
Um, I do not put any stars. No.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I consciously do not put stars.
Yeah, that was my question. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, for me, the obvious reason. There's actually two obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the first one is that it's incredibly subjective, and because I mean, I've climbed in so many places and climbed routes that had like 0 stars and routes that had 3 stars. I'm like, but this is so much better.
Yeah.
You know, the other stuff is
Yeah.
just like this generic stuff, and I'm just like, oh, so boring.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then and the other things, you know, it's more of a puzzle. And so that's what I mean. It's like it depends for who the stars are. So it makes no sense. I think people should just have a look at the route, just follow their intuition, see what feeling it gives them, and like, I want to climb that stuff. And that's what you need to climb,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then the second reason is you see when the route gets like 3 stars, 3 out of 3, I mean, you can see the route from very far away. You know,
Yeah.
it's like completely choked up, full of
Obvious.
tick marks,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like destroyed. I think it's another good reason just to stop people from just all doing the same route because it's
Yeah.
not necessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in a place like this, everything is good. So
Yeah. I like that. I agree.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Really cool. Now, what would you need to bring? Like it sounds like a lot of the routes are long.
Mm.
So 80 meter.
Well, I think an 80 meter is nice to. I mean, um, even though let's say 90% of the routes you can easily do with a 70, the 80s, the 40-meter routes are often like very beautiful things. So I'd say an 80 is nice. I think most people have an 80 these days anyway.
Yeah.
So an 80, um, like me personally, I try to not put more than 16 quick draws because people kind of don't travel with a rack of 25,
Yeah.
especially if they go by plane. Saying that, there's plenty of routes that have more than 16. So if you can, just bring 20, and then just like the classic bits and pops
Yeah.
that you need for changing the anchor. Maybe if I can just add a little interesting fact, and I hope it doesn't sound too advertorial.
Sure. Of course. Of course. No. No.
But
Go for it.
so basically with the shop, what we do is we also have rental gear, and people can get a full set. So that means 2 harnesses, helmets, gree, 16 quick draws, 80-meter rope bag, just the whole thing for 50 euros a week.
Oh
And
wow.
we did it especially because it's like, this is cheaper than actually checking in luggage.
Exactly. It makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense. Yeah.
And it's all new stuff from Petzl, so often it's kind of better than the wrong gear.
Wow.
um, and so yeah, I saw now just 1 year in that people love it because, man,
Of
if you don't
course.
have to check in luggage, yeah, it's amazing. You don't have to use your own rope. Yeah,
Wow.
it's very
Yeah.
convenient.
That's
Yeah,
really
and
good to know.
it's kind of a tip to people that fly in. Yeah,
Wow. Nice one. Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I actually went to Tenerife last year, and I went with my own stuff, the usual, added more money and stuff. And then I seen that they do not the same, but I think they do a rope, and draws or something,
Mm,
and for a good price as well. And I was like, oh wow, next time I'm coming, I'm like
yeah,
doing that for sure.
makes so much sense, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Really cool. Nice. Uh, I'm curious a bit. We have a few more sub topics, and I'll let you go. And
no
but
worries.
I'm curious a lot about Ulassai. I'll give you like a bit of a background. Me and my wife are looking for many years for places to move to that are like small villages, but with not only hardcore locals that don't speak another language and stuff. Yes, we like that, but so we've
Mm,
been on this. Now we live in Barcelona because it's like we build ourselves and stuff. But in the past, we tried to live in Manikia in Greece, the new area that Petzl developed. And
heard of it. Yeah.
so that's amazing area, beautiful and great climbing and everything. But we didn't have the capacity to stay only us with mainly with locals and goats.
Mm,
So like I'm curious, how is it these days, like if you can paint a picture of Ulassai in general, because I think it sounds like it looks like an amazing place. And yeah, also from this point of view, it's kind of interesting,
yeah,
like how is it for expats and
yeah.
for you.
So things changed enormously since I came here. In the beginning, 10 years ago, basically there were no climbers, not even coming to climb. There was just nothing. Like, I was here for months and I didn't see a single climber.
Wow.
What's going on?
Wow.
But then, I mean, we did a lot of, like, PR and social media and those kind of things. Obviously a hostel helps. People can sleep. Um, and it changed a lot. So Ulassai is 30 minutes from the sea, higher up on 800 meters, which makes it more remote than, let's say, a touristic area by the sea, right? So it's definitely traditional. Um, there's still a lot of shepherds, goats. There's tons of local products that are amazing. Um, it's I mean, it's a real. It gives you a real vibe. It's not some kind of fake. It doesn't feel like a fake climbing place
Yeah.
where there's just some Airbnbs. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Saying that, in coming to this point right now, the community of local climbers, international climbers, has grown spectacularly. As in, lots of people are buying houses.
Oh wow.
Um, I mean, I come from a city, and my social life here is so much better than in the city that is like 1 million people. It's like every day I just see my friends. We have
Wow.
beautiful dinners together. We go climb together. Yeah, and I think why people want to buy houses here is exactly for this, is because this is what people truly need, I think, to be happy, is kind of a community
Yeah.
where where they fit. And often I think people that kind of gravitate towards these places like Ulassai, why is it? Is because they're kind of a bit lost in, let's say, what's the classic narrative of how to live in, how to live a successful life in the city with lots of materialistic things. So
Yeah.
I'd say it's kind of like a bunch of misfits that actually found their place. Like actually found their place, found the community, found peace. And man, every time like people ask me things to like, do you know a house for sale, or how can I get this paper? I always help everyone just because I think it's very important for this community to keep growing. And
Wow.
yeah, now it's really exploding. Like last year, like 3 of my friends bought a house here.
Wow.
Just to give you an idea, there's actually now it's harder to find a house because there's so many people looking for it, and it's most of the houses are undocumented, and so it's not, even though there's a bunch of empty houses, it's not so easy. It's not easy to buy. You have to be really wanting it,
That's
but it's
crazy.
possible.
Yeah.
And prices are still like very like really cheap.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so yeah, man, I love it. Like yeah, so next like in 2 months, there's another couple moving here with their daughter, small daughter. It gets bigger, bigger, bigger. And yeah, I'd say whoever is chill and lovely and just nice is welcome, and I will help as long as the
Nice.
people are relaxed and good
Yeah.
people. That's it.
Wow. Very nice. And how big or small is the village?
1,300 people inhabit it.
1,300. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And locals are, I imagine, nice and yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, we put a lot of effort in connection with
Yeah.
locals. Um, if you just come here with a bag of money, it's kind of not going to work out.
I imagine. Yeah.
I mean, they're very proud people.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's things to learn from them as well about how to stand in life, and
For
you have to
sure.
be respectful, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
More and more people are kind of jumping on this train of climbing tourism, and that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, it's one of the blue zones. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's specific, but in Sardinia, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where people live a really long life and
Yeah.
happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the village next door is the village that has the oldest family in the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. It's just a
crazy.
bunch of centenarians. It's crazy.
That's awesome. So cool. Yeah, I've seen one of the documentaries about it, and they say there is a
Mm.
correlation between how steep the village is in Sardinia. Then
Mm.
it like that's a correlation how steep it is and how long people live, which is crazy.
Mm.
That's really cool.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
People keep moving, right?
exactly.
And not only that, there's like, so the families here, I mean, a family nucleus is very important, right? So the old
Yes.
people, they kind of stay in the house of their kids then, which means that kind of they are quite happy to have
Yeah.
movement and contact with their family. And yeah, happy people just tend to live longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, I'm happy for you. You found your place there. It
Yeah.
sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
I had, I think, a few more things, and I'm curious about digital nomads. Does that work? People do that?
Lots of people do it. It's often in the hostel that it felt just like a bunch of people just working in the morning and climbing in the afternoon. I think it's a very popular destination for digital
For
nomads.
the
So
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Connectivity is good. Wi-Fi is
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Actually, now this is a good little detail is that the town hall is actually in the village square is making a working space.
Amazing. Wow.
So you could use the facilities for like a small contribution. There's going to be like lightning speed internet connection.
Oh wow.
probably coffee and
Yeah,
just kind of
for sure.
cushions or something. I don't know.
That's really cool that they did. That's amazing.
Yeah. Mm.
I have to ask about food before we leave. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit. I love, like, I just came back from Italy. I think it's amazing. They are genius,
Mm.
like everything.
Yeah.
So tell
Yeah.
me, what is the typical stuff? What you need to eat?
So I think it's it's pretty meat orientated,
Mm-hmm.
I must say.
Okay.
Um, especially goat and sheep.
Yeah.
Um, apart from that, the cheese, the pecorino is fantastic. Uh, the the fresh goat cheese is more like a yogurt. It's like a stiff yogurt. It's just
So amazing.
insane. It's insane. Honestly, if you eat that stuff, you immediately feel the whole guts just like,
Ah.
ah, where were you? um,
Yeah.
and then yeah, olive oil obviously is just spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just this is Italian cuisine, right? It's kind of, they respect the original product, and they try to just enhance a bit that taste with some salt and some olive oil,
Yeah.
and somehow that works. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Fresh and local and just
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward. So where can people find you? Like, so you have now the shop.
Yeah.
How is it on social?
So it's called Dirtbag Climbing Shop.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You can just find it easily on Instagram and on Google Maps. So the Google hours are correct in case it changes, because we kind of changed the hours, opening hours according to the season. But they're always actual, like how they are. There's no surprises, let's say,
Okay.
following those following those published hours. And that's probably the easiest way. So people can just, if they want, they can walk in into the shop. Yeah, obviously I know most of the things about climbing, about not climbing, of the area. Um, yeah, just come with good vibes and everybody welcome. Yeah.
Nice. And the guidebook you can buy where?
Yeah, the guidebook you can buy in the shop. You can buy it also in all the local shops and the bars. So these people were very happy to make their small contribution and selling my guidebook in their small businesses. So man, just go to the bar, drink a coffee,
Yeah.
and buy the guidebook. And I think, I mean, it's also it's probably the easiest way to support also the local bolting, because yeah, there's
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of profit goes to development, also to safety
Nice.
of climbing in general. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important. Nice. Really cool. I think I must say, like, what you have been doing is kind of I'm sure a dream for many, but for me as
Mm.
well. And yeah, it's amazing. Like, you really, not only you, of course, but like what you did. Yeah, like taking a place that literally almost had no climbing and then making it like a
Mm.
hot spot it's amazing. So really, yeah,
Yeah.
incredible, man. Really, really
I mean,
great.
I was just at the right place at the right time, and yeah, and then you just jump, don't you? You just go for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I had so much energy. I had so much energy. It was insane. Now, now it's less. I tell you.
Ah, well done.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you so much. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. You have more stuff you want to share, or something we didn't touch?
I mean, I think, yeah, I think that we kind of touched most of the things. I can't stress out enough to people when they come here to be respectful for local community.
Yeah,
You know, they were here first. Climbing is just climbing. We're just hanging on a piece of rock, which is,
yeah.
in my opinion, very insignificant. Yeah, it gives you
I agree.
it gives you beautiful opportunities to meet people, to be in nature. So I think people should come in that spirit, and then everything will be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. I like that. Yeah, for me, I think I learned a lot. Well, now from this conversation, I think one of the most, well, like I didn't know it's a year round. I was sure like winter is
Mm.
out of bounds, so it's really cool. And I opened my mind to like when I can visit. So,
Yeah,
so yeah, really
sure.
nice. Yeah. So, man, thank you so much. It was really cool, and yeah,
Yeah, I
really,
enjoyed
really
it.
great to meet you, and I hope to meet you in person as well to climb together soon.
You know where to find me.
Yeah, if you come to Barcelona by chance, then also, by the
Thanks.
way, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Have a great
Okay.
day.
Yeah, you too.
We'll be in touch.
All right. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ciao, man. Hello and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this really great conversation with Ruben. I know I sure did, and I'm looking for flights for Sardinia. Now, please check out climbingnetwork.app for your next climbing trip. And for the podcast, I know I lowered a bit the volume because it has been tricky to do with all the things that happening in life. But if you have suggestions for episodes, I'll be more than happy to chat. Check it out on the Instagram. And yeah, until next time, bye for now.